Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to Fearless Broadcasting Network's presentation of the Wild West Racing League, sponsored by the Stand for Whitt Foundation Xfinity Series. Race number 9 at Nashville Superspeedway, 80 laps today, is what we will be attempting to accomplish. Got quite a field here with some great drivers. Sponsored, like I said, is the Stand for Whitt Foundation. The Stand for Whitt Foundation is a foundation that helps the nearly 12 million men and women who deal with domestic violence in America. Now, they help them get out of these bad situations and into better ones. That's the Stand for Whitt Foundation. So the drivers will begin to qualify 2 laps. As they get out onto the track, we see James Napier doing his qualifying. Let's get inside of his vehicle and watch him do his thing. James Napier, the 77 Chevrolet, gets very, very loose, scrubs off all of his speed. He's going to have to build this up and hope for a second lap. That's in better shape than the first. He'll come around through turn 1. James Napier's time, even with that speed, was 30.84. If we move to Trey Smith, we see his first lap was 30.72. He's currently our pole sitter for qualifying. However, James Napier in the 77 has a 30.39. Excellent, excellent run by James Napier. But oh, look at Mike Presley. Mike Presley's run was a 30.35. Wow. Some excellent driving here. And then Justin Bell. Justin Bell puts a 30.33. Dakota Henderson beats him with a 30.33. So we have a tie, 30.33, between Dakota Henderson and Justin Bell. Now for today's broadcast, Dakota Henderson is always in that 5 Hendricks Cars Chevrolet, but his paint job is, I think, the 18. So when you're looking at him, as he'll be leading us off, if I say the 5 of Dakota Henderson, he's in the blue Chevrolet. So it looks like Dakota Henderson is first. Justin Bell is second. Mike Presley was third. James Napier is fourth. Trey Smith was fifth. Sixth was Brandon Harris. Seventh was Max Cost. Eighth is Brandon McKee. Ninth is Scott Rush. 10th is Scott Rush. I'm sorry, Brighton Coleman bumps all the way up into 8th. 11th is Tanner Ensign. Then Wayne Isbell in 12th, Michael Lovelace, and Gene Watkinson. We should see them line up shortly here. Expecting some great racing here today at Nashville Superspeedway. 80 laps. Fast cars. These Xfinity cars are built to go around here. All right. We see the cars lined up. There we go. Okay. So we see Dakota Henderson in the 17, not the 18, the 17 car or the 5, depending upon how you know him. The 8 of Justin Bell will be on his outside. Your second row will be Mike Presley Male with James Napier. Then Trey Smith will line up beside Brandon Harris. Max Cost will line up beside Bryton Coleman, and Michael Lovelace will line up beside Brandon McKee. Scott Rush and Tanner Ensign will be signed up together. And our final row, which is row 7, will be Wayne Isbell and Gene Watkinson in the 111 Chevrolet. And they're off, leaving pit road for the Nashville Superspeedway. We're going to have a great race. Sharp looking cars here today. See that 8 of Team Conte of Justin Bell. Lights are out on the pace car. We'll be going racing this next time around. Pace car's off. Dakota Henderson's going to lead them. And we are racing. Dakota Henderson gets a good run on the bottom, moves up to the top for the angle. The number 8 of Justin Bell is second, followed by James Napier in third. Oh, and right away, Dakota Henderson is on the bottom. Also, Scott Rush. What happened to Scott Rush? Well, looks like Dakota saved that car. Did not get to see what happened to Scott Rush. Let's go back and look at Scott Rush's car, though, real quick. He's got some severe damage there in that hood. Yeah. Tire damage as well. He can't hardly turn that GoArmy.com Ford. Go back to our leaders. And it looks like we have Dakota Henderson and Justin Bell once again. Lap 2 of 80 laps. So Dakota Henderson is running in first place after that mishap. Because of my software issues, I can't go back and tell you exactly what happened or how the scoring's being done. But regardless, lights are still on the pace car, so they're individually running with Dakota Henderson and Justin Bell be your front row again. Lights are now off on the pace car, so we'll go around here one more time. There's that 77 Milwaukee Home Depot of James Napier. And on the outside of him is Mike Presley in that 000. We'll be going green this time by. Cars are bunched up. Pace car is off. Dakota Henderson will be bringing them to the line. Into the go zone, and they're off. We're racing. Justin Bell gets a very good run on the outside and goes almost even side by side as they go into turn 1. Some real tight racing for this early of a race. Justin Bell has moved out into the lead. Second place is James Napier. Third now is Dakota Henderson. Mike Presley is in fourth, and fifth is Trey Smith. So here we see Trey Smith moving up and past, trying to pass the 33. That's the 33 of Brandon Harris. And Brandon Harris gets very loose, controls the car, gets it back on the track. The caution does not come out. Some great driving right there. Now we see up here in the front, we see Justin Bell. He is holding off the 77 of James Napier and Dakota Henderson. This is all for first place, folks. Excellent racing up here on the front. Justin Bell, James Napier, and Dakota Henderson. And not far behind is Mike Presley, your front four. Justin Bell, for the moment, continues to lead him as we're on lap, I believe, 8. See James Napier, and we see Dakota Henderson right there. That's your second and third. Dakota Henderson goes to the bottom under James Napier and takes over second position from James Napier. We had a car in the back. Looks like it got loose. Stayed off the wall. Stayed off the infield. Dakota Henderson moves into second place behind Justin Bell. James Napier now is back in third place. We see Justin Bell leading the way in the 8 Chevrolet. So the top 5, 4 of the top 5 are Chevrolets, and the 5th place car of Trey Smith in that number 1 right there is a Ford. See the 31 right behind him of Brandon McKee on the outside. Brandon McKee gets a little loose. Lots of danger here on this track here. Max Cost, the 63, was very wary of that, stayed out of the way. Let's move back up to the front, where we see Dakota Henderson right on the rear bumper of Justin Bell. Justin Bell's looking in that rearview mirror, and he's seeing HendrickCars.com. And the 111 goes all the way to the outside to stay out of the way as Gene Walkinson is a lap down. Looks like Dakota is not in any hurry to actually have to pass Bell in the 8 car. Although, as I say that, he goes right around, wraps the bottom, and comes up onto his quarter panel, onto his door, side by side, 8 and 17. 17 squeezes down. That's the 5. I'm sorry. 5 of Dakota Henderson painted 17 for today's race to mess with me. So, Dakota Henderson in the 17.5 car leads Justin Bell. Justin Bell's looking low but cannot get there. Shutting the door is Dakota Henderson. We see back in third place is James Napier, a little bit farther back. But we have no gap here at all. Boy, these cars are really sharp looking coming around this Nashville Superspeedway. That 8, I don't know if he's trying a higher line or if he just got out of the bottom groove. But the middle of the racetrack here, generally speaking, does not hold any advantage. Now, in theory, because of the way this track is built, there should be quite a bit of drafting. In order to draft, you just need to tuck in behind the car in front of you and let the air pressure suck your car to the back of the car in front of you. The more cars in line, the faster you go. 2 cars are faster than 1, 3 are faster than 2. While we're watching this excellent racing here with Dakota Henderson, Justin Bell, who's now 0.4 of a second back, let me remind you that we have this race and then next week at Richmond to decide who's going to be in the playoffs. And right now we have 5 drivers who have wins this season. Trey Smith, James Napier, Tanner Ensign, Justin Bell, and Mike Presley. All of them are guaranteed spots into the round of 8. By points right now, we have Bryton Coleman, Scott Rush, and Gene Watkinson. Now we have some other good drivers, and if they were to work their way up, like Dakota Henderson, our leader, Dakota right now is not in the top 8. So even without a victory, he's right outside the top 8. He could move in to a points position for the playoffs with 1 race remaining. Of course, if he continues his rampage here in Nashville, rock and roll, he'll get in on a race win. Justin Bell and that 8 Chevrolet does not want to see that happen. Justin Bell is already in on points. On a win. He does not mind, I guess. This is a race for him for his pride. He wants to do good. They want to keep the machine moving, the momentum going, so that when they do get to the playoffs, they're a fine-tuned race team and fine-tuned race car. Well, Justin Bell on lap 22 is staying with Dakota Henderson. The gap is about 0.3 of a second, so nothing to worry about at this moment. Although, just as I say that, Justin Bell did get out of that bottom groove and lost about 0.2 of a second. The gap now is a half a second. Look back into third, and we see Trey Smith. Mike Presley, and then behind Mike Presley, here's where we have a race. That's James Napier, and behind James Napier is Tanner Ensign. The 44 and the 77. Battling it out week by week by week. 44 moves to the bottom. 77 on top. There we go. The 44 takes position. That's Tanner Ensign over James Napier. And look, the 33 tries to take a position there, and he will. That's Brandon Harris. So we just saw a mix-up here in the middle of the field with 5th, 6th, and 7th. Tanner Ensign is in 5th, 6th is Brandon Harris, 7th is James Napier. Let's go back up front. We see a gap of a full second over Justin Bell that Dakota Henderson has in his Chevrolet. You know, that Camaro is fast each and every week. It's just a matter of getting it to that tune that makes it just perfect each and every week for each and every track. Now, one thing is, as we're racing today, the track's going to change. drivers are going to have to adapt by coming off throttle maybe a little bit earlier so that they can come back on the throttle while they're in the turn, keeping their momentum up. See Justin Bell still about 1.3 seconds back. Trey Smith got about a 2.8 second gap. Let's go back to Mike Presley now. Sharp looking car as every week it is. The 000 of Mike Presley. We see Tanner Ensign in 5th place. Doing a great job. Top 5 car. Now Tanner Ensign has a win, so he's already in. Look behind him, we see a rookie Brandon Harris in the 33 Ford. Trying to make that Mustang pony up. Havoline, Texaco. Brighton Coleman, always a sharp looking car, the 40 Advantix Ford of Brighton Coleman. Let's see Wayne Isbell in the 6 machine. That's the Chevrolet of Wayne Isbell, Trophy Tractor. 9th, Michael Loveless in the 68. Unlike him to be riding in the back. Back up front, it's Dakota Henderson. Think we're up at around lap 30. So we have 8 cars that have not come in to pit. Dakota's gap is almost 3 seconds to Justin Bell. Trey Smith doing his best. Trey Smith is the leader of our series on points and with a win. 2 wins he has. He's one of 2 people with 2 wins, him and Justin Bell. Justin Bell, running up here in 2nd, has 2 wins on the season. Trey Smith also has 2 wins. The 6 and the 68. Well, if you enjoy racing, you really ought to be here every Wednesday night for the Wild West Racing League. It's a great group of guys. It's a great league. Maybe you want to race. You can look them up on Discord. Get a hold of an admin. say, hey, I'd like to race. All you need is some sim gear, a setup, some type of setup, and the will to have a good time with some great guys. If not, you enjoy watching us Wednesday nights on the Stand for Whitt Xfinity series here, put on by the Wild West Racing League, produced by Fearless Broadcasting Network. And I'm Barry Stevens, bringing you the action each week. Gene Watkinson, Scott Rush, and Bryton Coleman are currently all in the top 8 by points without wins. However, tonight Gene Watkinson is having a bad race. We see Dakota Henderson coming in and down pit road for a scheduled stop. And Justin Bell is behind him doing the same thing. So that looks like it'll take Tanner Ensign and bring him across the front on lap 39. Tanner's going to have to come in, but he will get credit for leading a lap. So we're about halfway through this race right now. We're going to do 80 laps here in Music City. And we're about through lap 40 now. Tanner Ensign, now Wild Outlaw, custom die-cast 44 machine. If you have an idea for a custom die-cast, Wild Outlaw custom die-cast is your go-to. Look him up on Discord. Wild Outlaw custom die-cast. And he finally will come in and relinquish his lead, rightfully so. Did a great job out there. Oh no. He did not make the pits. Looks like okay, maybe because of the caution. There was a caution that came out. See Trey Smith. Excellent car control, and I think that's may have been what brought out the caution. So what this does is, what a unique situation. Tanner Ensign did not pit when everybody else did. Now, he's coming down pit road now, but it's under caution. So it's going to take a lot of these cars, and it's going to automatically move them back, depending upon how race control puts this together. We'll have to watch and see how race control and the race stewards lines up that Mustang there. What a strategy. Looks like we have about 9 cars on the lead lap. On about lap 44. Now all these cars that are in front of him will get the opportunity to go around the pace car and come around and get their lap backs. So a great move by Tanner Ensign to get his Ford Mustang out front of the Camaro of Dakota Henderson. It's a sharp looking car, that 44. Well, that was a weird start. 44, Tanner Ensign takes the lead. I am not sure why that happened. That pace car just dove off. There was no cars. They hadn't worked their way around the racetrack. Oh no. Tanner gets a little busy and loses his spot, moves to the bottom. Dakota Henderson is now up front. 8 of Justin Bell is second once again. Tanner Ensign is third, but fourth is Mike Presley. So that's 6 of Wayne Isbell in the Trophy Tractor Xfinity Camaro is a lap down. Go back up to the front. Lap 47, Dakota Henderson. Keeping Hendrick's cars in the front. Let me remind you once again, he is not in the playoffs at this point. But with a race like tonight, he might win this and then automatically be in the... Oh no, Justin Bell, hard hit just before the start-finish line into the outside wall. That outside of that car is smashed up. Don't know what kind of damage it did. We're going to see if he drops back or not. That had to have hurt the handling of that car. About half a second gap between Dakota and Justin Bell. Oh man, does it again. Justin Bell. Looks like he is having some problems. Tanner Ensign smells blood in the water, is looking to the bottom of Justin Bell. Can he pass him? The shark is lurking. 8 of Justin Bell is definitely having a little bit of car handling issues. Now we know it's not Justin Bell's issue because he is a 2-time winner. Car's just not to his liking. And if we see trying on the bottom, Tanner Ensign trying to get by Justin Bell. We see Justin Bell get a little wiggly there. That'll allow the 44 to move up beside and pass. So that puts Tanner Ensign in second position. Tanner Ensign is already a winner this season and is guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. Next week's our last race. That's at Richmond. Short track racing at Richmond. Let's not forget we've got a car that's running in first place, the 17.5 of Dakota Henderson. Gap is 1 1/4 second over Tanner Ensign. So, looks like with Tanner getting by Justin, that we may see some issues out of Justin's car. Will he continue to go backwards? Not sure. But he definitely does not have the speed that he had earlier in the race. Here, lap 57. You gotta feel bad for Gene Watkinson. He's running in 14th now and is not having a night he needs. Probably is going to drop him out of the top 8. Scott Rush is 10th place. He's in the top 8 in 7th total of points. So he really needs to do a little bit better if he can. It's easy to say from the broadcast booth. I know these guys are sitting in their cars sweating. A death grip on the steering wheel, elbows out on each side, staring through their windscreen, just trying to make things happen. Driving a car that's on a knife's edge. Gap is 1 1/4 seconds. Back to Tanner Ensign. Now, a question you got to ask yourself is, with Dakota being so dominating here right now at this part of the race, with just a little bit over 20 to go, all he's really got to do is keep the pace that he's at. And if we don't have a caution, can he make it? We showed earlier in the race he was the last car to come in for fuel and tires. So making this a one stop, he could go the rest of this way, and I won't call it stealing a win because it's definitely not stealing a win. He's been dominant. We see Dakota Henderson back behind him, and now Justin Bell is back in third. Trey Smith with the 33 of Brandon Harris right behind him in fifth place. That Menards won. Brandon Harris, a newcomer to the league. And that Javelin Texaco 33 Ford Mustang. Go back up to the front. Dakota Henderson. 1.5 second gap. Back to Tanner Ensign. Justin Bell. About 3 seconds back. And it looks to me like Trey Smith may slowly be catching Justin Bell. Look at the last car on our lead lap. That's Brighton Coleman. And that Kodak Advantix number 40 Ford might be the prettiest car out on the racetrack here today in Nashville. Look at the fans out in the stands. This place is packed today. If you're watching at home, once again, we thank you. It's a great time. We see that 40. Brighton Coleman fighting James Napier. That's for 7th place. Up front with a 1.25 gap, 1.25 second gap is Dakota Henderson over 2nd place Tanner Ensign. We see Brandon Harris in 4th and Trey Smith now in 5th. Brandon Harris has moved on up. So we're about on roughly 10 to go. Go back up to the front. We see Tenor Ensign squeezing that gap just a little bit. It's down to 0.8 of a second. Dakota's still well out in front, but the gap has definitely shortened down to less than under a second now. Now, I apologize, I do not have a way to officially know what lap these drivers and teams are on. I'm having to do it manually, which is very difficult while calling a race. I think we're about 8 to go or so. Now I'll go ahead and I'll say it now, because I do not have a way to know when the white flag is even coming out. I can't see the white flag if it comes out. But in order for us to get to the white flag, the lap prior must go green. Once we're in the white flag lap, anything that happens, caution comes out, it doesn't matter. The race will be official at that point. But we have to get to the white flag for that to happen. A lot of times what happens is these cars, these drivers, towards the end of the race will take chances that they wouldn't earlier. And that's just great driving. Don't take chances earlier in the race. There's no need to. But as you're coming down to the last 8 to go, then 5 to go, if you have an opportunity to make something happen, that's the time to make it happen. The problem with what we've got here today is we look through here, we see the spacing. In between each of these cars, there is a gap. And with this big gap, oh boy, Trey Smith is really dropping back now into 6th place. Must have pushed those tires. But anyways, the gaps of the leaders, which is the first 8 vehicles on the track, they're the only ones that are on the lead lap. They're spread out. And unless somebody self-spins, we probably aren't going to see any aggressive moves. We should be able to run this out green without caution the rest of the way. Yellow flag is out on lap 78. Oh no, Mike Presley's car is done for. Smoking. He was doing good. Just about on fire now. So sorry for Mike Presley. He's a great guy, great driver. He does have a victory, so he is in the playoffs. But still, you don't like to see that for these good drivers. Not that there's any bad drivers, but you just hate to see it when we come down to the end of the road here. Now, we know the 17 and the 44, they're not coming in unless they're going to run out of gas. They're not coming in for tires for 2 laps. So what did Tanner Ensign do? He stayed out, okay. But everybody behind him that was on the lead lap all came in. Nothing to lose by doing that. Oh boy, are they going to be able to steal something? Bad position with 2 laps to go to be Dakota Henderson now. He might have this win taken away from him. Why? Well, Justin Bell, James Napier, Trey Smith, Brandon Harris, and Bryton Coleman, who were all on the lead lap, came into the pits. And they're going to come out with fresh Goodyear tires. Fresh Goodyear tires on 2 laps at Nashville can make a difference. Nashville, it's all about that hard-working man. These guys wear helmets instead of steel hard hats, but still hard-working guys. I'd like to sing some country music for you while we're under caution, but I really don't want to lose all of our viewers, so I'll just keep the broadcasting. It is Nashville, though, by the way. We are at the end of our race. Now, cautions can breed cautions, and this could be a problem here, especially with the first 2 cars that did not come in to the pits. They've made their bed. New life for everyone. New hope for all. Xfinity Racing, brought to you by the Wild West Racing League, sponsored by the Stand for Whitt Foundation Xfinity Series. Presented to you by Fearless Broadcasting. Once again, I'm Barry Stevens. Let's finish this race. And they're off. 17 gets a good run on the bottom. Both of them look like they may have spun their tires just a bit, but the 17 gets a great run. The 44 is right there. The 8 goes onto the bottom. Oh, tires, that's the whole thing. Can the 8 now come around the 17 or the 5, I'm sorry, of Dakota Henderson? The 1 also comes up. The 1 of Trey Smith. The 1 tries to break down. Oh my gosh. The 8 loses it, collects it again. 8, oh my. What a, oh. Amazing. The 44 of Tanner Ensign. I think this is the white flag. What a race. No matter what happens now, we are done. Let's look back a little bit here. Trey Smith, he's got fresh tires. Can he do anything in the last half a turn? He loses it, goes way up. The 77 and James Napier is second. That's Tanner Ensign, James Napier, and Trey Smith for the victory. Wow. Tanner Ensign, James Napier, Trey Smith. Woo! That's some good racing there, boys. You guys did a heck of a job. Let's see if we can get Trey Smith and bring him into the broadcast booth.
Daddy, I'm sorry, but I beat your favorite driver, folks.
Hey, Trey Smith, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth, and you did not beat everybody's favorite driver, but almost tonight with a third place finish on the podium. How do you feel about that? You have to feel good that we had that caution come out with just 2 laps to go.
Yeah, I definitely was happy to see that caution, but definitely not where I wanted to be coming to the white flag. I think we could have had that. Just I had to check out to not dump Justin and pile through him, and then got around him and Dakota, and then James was there and held James off pretty well. He just put me in a tight spot going into three, which I wasn't too happy about, but it is what it is. But still able to knock off a podium, I guess. Nothing wrong with bronze, I guess.
No, I think when I saw that you were one of the cars that came down and got fresh rubber, and I was sure that you were going to just blow by them. But I did see that you got blocked. Saw that there was nowhere to go unless you wanted to, dump the car in front of you. Unfortunately, that's racing. It's not always the way we want it, but it's racing, and it shows excellent racecraft on your part to not dump the car in front of you, trying to go for a win.
Yeah, that's that's not me. I mean, I don't mind a bump and run, but um, it is what it is. Well, I get like I said, we'll take it. I'm not the type of person to dump someone. I mean, if I got beef with them, that's a completely different story. But overall, we're just trying to keep it clean and just maintain the points lead as much as possible, trying to get this regular season championship, and then just trying to get as many points for the playoffs as much as possible. So, the car really sucked tonight. I can tell you that. I don't know if that was just pure talent or just lady luck. I have no idea, but we'll take it and we'll get ready for Saturday in the next gen.
Okay, all right. Well, before I let you go, let's hear your shout outs.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to G Lightning Motorsports. Of course, Joe, Krishan, Kaiser, Alex, Eddie, Brady, Max, Hunter, all them guys for everything they do and allow me to be part of such a great organization. Um, Fearless Broadcasting, you do an amazing job, Barry. Appreciate all that you do. We definitely wish we could get you on Saturdays, but it's all right. The good Lord above, my amazing girlfriend, supporting me, my sidekick, my mini me, um, and him rooting for me every single time I race. The race car bodies by Daily, Bucked Up, Coca Cola. Tonight, here the last couple of weeks, been repping the Jack Links and Menards. So I guess gotta give them a shout out too. Um, YO Outlaw Custom Diecast. Tanner, make sure you guys go shout out to him. Redline Radio podcast, which I know I've been slacking on the episodes. I got one brewing here soon. So definitely be on the lookout for that on Spotify. And I know I'm missing a lot more, but just everyone that makes this possible.
Well, I'm about to let you go back down to Ensign Motorsports and celebrate that third place, but I want you to know that I'm proud of you, and it's great to see you be a stand up guy, and you showed it out there on the track today. So thanks for speaking with us up in the broadcast booth and taking the time out.
Absolutely, Barry. Thank you. Don't worry, folks. I'll beat someone's favorite driver here soon.
All right, that's Trey Smith in number one. All right, second place was James Napier. James Napier, let's move him up. James Napier is from Bumblebee Racing. James Napier, Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me.
Yes, sir.
How'd you do that second place, and how do you feel about it?
I mean, I'll take it. I didn't have the car. I thought I did. Got fresh tires. The 2 liters kind of got into it, and my car is pretty good on short run speed, so it was surprising for sure.
It looked throughout the race that you hung up there. You never really dropped back, but you didn't seem to have the speed to be up near the front. But with that caution with 2 laps to go, it gave you new life and an opportunity to use your skill and your driver-based insight to make that car a second-place car.
Yeah, I did one more adjustment, and that's all I needed, I guess, because she took off on that restart. I just needed probably one more turn to get around Tanner.
Before I let you go, do you have any shout-outs for tonight's race?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Wild Racing, Bumblebee, and unfortunately to my teammate Dakota. I hate it for him. It was his race, but looking forward to next week.
Yeah, we watched Dakota, and had that caution not come out, that race would have been his. He is now on the outside, still looking in, not in the top 8, but we've got one more race, and let's see what happens with that for him. But
Yeah,
I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me.
no problem, Barry.
All
Appreciate
right,
you having me.
you bet. I'm moving you back down to Bumblebee Racing. James Napier in the 77 machine. And last, but certainly not least, is Tanner Ensign. Let's move him up.
They have a golden horseshoe stuck up their ass, so it's I mean, there's no way to get around that.
We have Tanner Ensign with Barry Stevens in the broadcast booth. You got me.
I got you, Barry. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing outstanding, but probably not as good as that 44 Ford of yours. How are you doing?
Honestly, I can't believe I made it stick on the outside. I pretty certain that was a great show for everybody. I started in the back due to poor qualifying, and we just worked our way to the front. Um, I do want to apologize to my teammate Scott. I ended up getting into him on the first lap, and that put us in a different position where I came in pitted. We topped off with fuel, and I was able to drive to the front. And then that second caution come out as I was getting on pit road. I almost ran out of gas on that one coming to pit road. So uh, that worked out in our favor. I don't know if we had the best car tonight or if we had the second best car. I just know that Dakota was lights out, and that last long run, he couldn't get more than a second ahead of me. So
Yeah, no, it really was. It was an excellent race. That through a good portion of the race, the cars were so spread out that there's not really anything happening. But what really happened was when we had that last caution, that 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 was the whole race. I mean, these fans came to watch racing, and they got it in 2 laps tonight.
yeah, I just am still in shock that I made it stick the way I did off of 4 to pass Dakota. But I really thought I was going to hit the wall. I was going for it, taking every chance I had.
Absolutely. When you're down to the last couple of laps, that's what you got to do is take chances. Sometimes those chances pay off. In your case, Tanner Ensign and the 44 Ford, they more than paid off. They brought you to the victory. So congratulations, and we're really proud of you. That was a heck of a show, and look forward to seeing you next week at Richmond.
Sounds good, buddy. I just want to give out my shout outs real quick to Wild Outlaw Custom Diecast, Stanford Whitt Foundation, uh, Redline Radio. Who else do I got on this car? We got Twisted Tea on the car. We got Wire Brothers Inc. Perfect Logo uh, placement or uh, solutions. Um, all the boys back at Enzyme Motorsports. Them guys really help rally up, and we work so well as a team. Um, you, Barry, for everything you do, and all the guys in this league. It makes it real fun. It's real hard to win these races.
Yeah, and I apologize for forgetting to ask if you had shout outs. That that's something I'm supposed to do. Um, but I'm glad that you reminded me on all of that, and we look forward to seeing you next week also in Richmond. Um, and we'll see you then. But thank you for taking the time out of your evening to speak with us up in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, thank you, Barry. I appreciate everything you do, buddy.
You bet. And I'll shortly be downloading that because I don't think this went live. I'll double check, but I think I'll be downloading it to YouTube shortly.
Sounds good, buddy. I appreciate you.
You bet. Moving you back down to Ensign Motorsports. That's Tanner Ensign in a 44. All right. So before we leave for our Wednesday, let me remind you that you were watching the Wild West Racing League, sponsored by the Stand for Whitt Foundation Xfinity Series at Nashville Superspeedway, brought to you by Fearless Broadcasting Network. I am your broadcaster each and every week, Barry Stevens. Love to be here. I'm glad that you're here. Look forward to seeing you again next week at Richmond. Hope you had a great day. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.